Good morning, everybody. I've got my new video software now, so hopefully everything will be working. And this week we're going to concentrate on the Stradbroke handicap. But first of all, I'm going to have a look at race 2 at Eagle Farm because it has something to do with it. So you'll see that here at Transatlantic is a 6-4 favourite in this race. And it's also in the Stradbroke. And what he's relying on is to get another scratching. So there's been one scratching so far. One more scratching and Transatlantic gets to start in the Stradbroke. Also, Waterford is likely to start here, as is Peer, because both those runners are they're unlikely to start because they're emergencies as well. So, yes. So if Transatlantic starts here, obviously I think it would win. So, but I'd prefer to see it run in the Stradbroke. So let's have a look now. And I've done a little bit of work on this and I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the horses one by one, okay? So I've got a number of horses down here. You see they've got 20-point penalties. I've seen no point in reversing them because it would make no difference to the end result. As you can see, Waterford here is going to be unable to get a start simply because it's going to be an emergency runner. Transatlantic is the next horse to get a start if there's another scratching. So I've taken Firestorm and I've taken Peer out, and obviously I'll be taking Waterford out because it's most unlikely to get a start. Okay, so now I've taken that out, we can have a better look at what's going on. Far Too Easy is sitting on top here. It's done a good run here at Randwick, a 69.5. That was October last year. It's had 2 runs from a spell. Best run was at Doomben last start in a Group 3, beaten 2.6 lengths. It's drawn barrier 9 and it has a rating, as I say, that was on a slow track, so it's possibly going to go a bit better today. It's been 21 days to go into the next start, so can't make any complaints about that. But I just question whether it's up to this. However, it does sit on top. Just to give you an idea, number 12, and the price of that one at the moment is $29. Okie doke. Let's move on to the next horse now, and this one is Transatlantic. Was a good winner, 1.1 lengths last start, and recorded on that day was a 62.5. But if we go back to Eagle Farm last December, ran a 75, resumed at Rockhampton with a 69.7, a little bit down second up, as a lot of horses are, and was good enough to win. Now the barrier, well, all barriers, wide barriers here is going to be the normal thing, so it's cost the horse probably about a length and a half. But it in that last run, it was in barrier 15 and still got out, sat up near the lead and was still to get away. Okay. Its best performance, though, is not a Group 1 like this is, but it was a listed race. Nevertheless, I give it a chance. Okay, we're going to look at Private Eye. By the way, it'd be a very good idea to put the caps on with your recording, and that way you can hear exactly what I'm saying. And if you want to pause it or at any stage, you can also do that so you can have a closer look. You might want to zoom in to intensify your image and make it a bit clearer. But Private Eye, drawn barrier 10, Nasharula on board, is having its first run since December last year. If we have a look, first up last year on the 7th of September, only rated a 59.5 for us, and that's nowhere near good enough. But nevertheless was 72 last start. 72, that would have been in the Villiers, I imagine, to Robusto. Always been a good horse, 12 wins, races well in this class. As you can see, has always been racing in group status. Now, if anyone can get this up first up, it's Joe Pride. You'll see first up before. The horse has had 9 starts for 4 wins first up. The last of those would have been some time ago, but if we go back to February last year, it was second to nose and sort of got out in the lead. But I think it's less likely to win than others. And a Private Eye at the moment, I'll just have a quick look here on the other screen. Private Eye is sitting at about $13. So it's one of the more favoured runners. Barrier 10 is pretty good. Golden Mile, coming from Barrier 2, will be a bit help. It's been racing, 35 days, 28 days, 35 days apart. Now, the reality is now it's gone from the 7th of June to the 14th of June. Ran a good second last start to Jolly Star. That was really, really good, but really backs up in 7 days, I can tell you that. And that is a little bit of worry, but it's drawn Barrier 2, James Cummings. You would like to think they know what they're doing. So at 68.2, it's going to be up among them. But the runs lately haven't been that good, although last start, that was on a soft 5. I'm pretty confident we'll get a good 4 this Saturday with no rain forecast at this stage. The Instructor, it's going well too. It's won a listed race. It's been racing in group company practically all the way, and it should be able to handle this now. Scone, that was an excellent run. It came from Barrier 15, Gay Waterhouse train. Barrier 12 today is not too bad, and it has a definite chance. Now, what price is the Instructor? $15, so it's definitely in the market. Going now, we're starting to get to the lesser runs, and we've got Basuto. 2 runs was great on a heavy track, beaten 6 lengths, won by 6 lengths, sorry. And if you look down here, it's normally not that great on the wet tracks, but has only had 3 runs from 15 starts, and that's not the sort of consistency you need. So if I go back to the main screen now, you see there I've covered the first 6 horses. And the one I really want to focus on now is War Machine. And this particular one is actually, would you believe, $3.20 in the market, which is a bit ridiculous, I think. No way should it be that short, but it was a great run. Over the 13.50 back at Doomben on the 24th of May. Won by 2.5 lengths, just over 2.5 lengths. Won the start before. Was in the red. $1.90 and $2.40, the rated prices, the actual prices, and is going very, very well. Is going to be starting after a mere 21 days, and should be fit as a fiddle, and that explains why it is so good in this particular race. Now, the 8th horse is Komochi. Now, this one is sort of second up after a little bit of a spell there. And if you look at second up, it hasn't gone so well. Always goes well first up. So it was first up here, was second in March. April, it ran a 66.6 over 1200. Then was on a wet track, well and truly beaten. And at Eagle Farm was beaten 2 lengths behind Jolly Star. So that was a good run. Anyway, so one of the things I've done usually is taken a couple of horses for the win and stood them out from up to 8 runners. And that way I've got to try and pick 2. And what I'm picking at the moment is Transatlantic and also War Machine. So Transatlantic and War Machine, they're the 2 that I'm going to stand out on top. If Transatlantic is scratched, I'm probably more likely to go to Private Eye. It's going to be an ask, but that's the other one you could look at being on top is Golden Mile. As you can see, it was 3rd there. Rose Hill over the 1500 ran a 68.2. But once again, it's backing up in 7 days, but it does has a really, really, really good run. Now, looking back now, we can see the runners there and where they're placed in this. But looking at the speed map, I'll stick on that one. And what you can see here is you're going to have the front runners are going to be Private Eye, Rothfire, Golden Mile, Yellow Brick, Komochi, Desert Lightning, and so on. So all very interesting. But as I say, I'm going to stick to what I just said. So it will be Transatlantic and War Machine on top, taken from those other 8 runners. Then you can pause the screen and write those down. If Transatlantic is scratched, I won't be taking Far Too Easy. I just don't think it's up to the class. But then I would be putting Private Eye and War Machine in and stand those out from the others. Obviously, you're only going to end up with 7 then if Transatlantic doesn't get the run. Thanks for watching. I do hope we get amongst the winners at the weekend. Thanks for watching.